Hello everyone and welcome to Dovetail Games' Let's Play Weekend. We are going to be celebrating March Madness. If you can see all around me, it is one of our biggest sales on Steam of the year. We're talking huge deals. Our core game is 40% off and we've even added a new upgrade pack for you to get into Train Sim World 3 for cheaper. We also have fantastic deals on our latest content. Our US bundles are now Complete My Collection and also 25% off. So if you're interested in any of the new US content, such as New York Trenton, such as the UP Heritage Pack and the Acela Express, that is all on offer. And we also have fantastic deals across our entire range of add-ons, so check out the Steam store page and get involved in March Madness. So I mentioned we're going to be doing some streams today. I will be playing on Boston on the Acela Express in just a short little bit, and joined after that will be Jamie bringing us Spirit of Steam, which is 50% off right now in the sales. And then finally I'll be closing off the night with some gameplay on the LGV Méditerranée, and I'll be playing on the TGV Duplex locomotive. Now that route is 80% off. Again, the sales are absolutely fantastic. So my marketing hat is coming off and my gameplay hat is coming on, because we're gonna have to get used to the Acela Express. Now I've only driven this route a couple times, so let's give it a go. Okay, so here we are in the main menu. We're gonna go on Boston Providence. So we're gonna go to the trains, choose a route, Boston Sprinter, timetable on the Acela Express. And we're going to pick a nice lovely 40-minute ride at 9:27. We're going to pick up the passengers in the morning. It's going to be fun. So as we are on Boston Sprinter, on Boston to Providence, this route is 45% off in the March Madness sale, and the Acela Express itself is 25% off. Now you can also play the Acela on the other Northeast Corridor route, which is New York Trenton, and that is also 25% off. And the UP Heritage Pack as well, part of that is 25% off. If you own any of the US content and you want to complete your collection, you can now do that as well through Steam. So for any of you that are really enjoying the US content and the new content that we've released recently, it is on sale for the first time, and it also has the Complete My Collection option. But yes, enough marketing, let's get to driving this thing. So I've done my practice. I believe the cab, so usually you have to come over here and you have to activate the cab, but I believe that's already been done. So let's open the doors. I'm going to use the hotkeys again. It's the Y hotkey that should open the doors for the passengers. Has that worked? Oh, I need to be in the chair when I use the hotkeys. That makes sense. So that should start loading the passengers. There we go. Now I know when I tried this route, they do take a while to get on board the Acela. There's quite a lot of seats. There's quite a lot of passengers. Here we are. So we're at Boston South Station, and yeah, we're going to be on our way. And look at this, the first class seats. Just look how premium these are. You know, they look absolutely fantastic. We've still got a little while to wait before we get going here, because the passengers, they're taking their merry old time getting on board. But this is the Acela. I've not had a chance to ride this yet, but I must say it's another one of the high-speed trains, another one of the more modern interior cabs. Let's take a look at it. It looks fantastic from the front. And let's hop in here. Let's shut the door again, and let's take a look at this. So you've got all the dials in front of you. You've got the cruise control, throttle. You've got the brake, the automatic brake, as well as a parking brake. It's more of a dial over in the corner here. And yes, just look at the logo from the front. Absolutely fantastic. It's definitely got that American style to it. I'm beginning to kind of notice some kind of similarities between the different regions, which is interesting. But yes, fantastic. I think one of the coolest things, if we throw the horn on here, we're going to upset everyone at the platform, but you end up with the two lights on the front with the bells, and you got to make sure to turn the bell off afterwards. Use the bell, first time mission complete. So we just annoyed all the passengers at the station. But let's lock the doors again. We're going to use the Y hotkey. That should be all good. Should go green in a moment. Yeah, we go. So are our headlights on full? Let's check. Where's the headline? They are on full. That's perfect. Pantograph, we want to give that the raise. I definitely feel like looking up makes it feel more like a cockpit. Like on a plane, they have the switches above their heads. Is our tilt enabled? It is enabled. That's perfect. Is our brake cutoff set to passenger? Yes, it is. The doors are closed, so then we need to put the reverser into neutral. And then once again, reverser from neutral into forward. And I think that means we're ready to go, because our parking brake is also released. Yes, so we can just pull down the automatic brake to release, and that means we are ready to start pushing up the throttle. I will put that on a good maybe 70% effort. And off we are on our journey across the northeast corridor at Boston. Just look at this, look at the color on this. We got a nice blue strip on the top. I think the Acela itself is one of the US high-speed locomotives. One of the most infamous ones. I must say we're definitely starting off in a very residential area. The later on after this stream, so this is pre-recorded for those of you watching. There won't be any live engagement in the chat, but coming up next is Jamie, who will be streaming Spirit of Steam. Now that is 50% off for those of you who want to get some Steam action in on the March sales. We're checking out Jamie's stream now. The camera's throwing us into the side of the cab there. And after Jamie's done streaming, there will be myself coming back for the LGV Méditerranée, and I've done a test run on that route, but it's a bit less urban. It's a bit more mixed between urban and the open environment and the hills and the scenery, but this to me is seeming quite a lot more residential. You see we've got houses, buildings right next to the track. We've even got a few school buses, I believe, running. So you do get a lot of variance there, and that's a really lovely route. So I'm looking forward to playing that coming up just after Jamie finishes his Spirit of Steam run. But for now we're just on the Acela on Boston, and the Boston Sprinter route. So we've got another 28 miles before we need to stop at Route 128, Track 2. Looks like we're in between. We've got a motorway on our right, we've got loads of extra rails on our left. I've just been talking this whole time. Oh my gosh, we are speeding at an incredible rate. I believe everyone currently watching has probably just been looking at that thinking, is he going to slow down? Apologies, I'm going to just put the automatic brake on a good 60% or so and bring that speed down to an acceptable level. And that should hopefully do it. There we go, we're about 70 miles an hour now. I can't believe I was speeding that much. I totally didn't notice the big red line in the corner. So there we go, we're at an acceptable speed, we're no longer breaking the law. That will look interesting on our graph at the end. So we're almost 40 miles above the limit there, 40 miles above the limit, yeah. But it's all okay now. And, well, we got the big, see this is what I like in the cab, we've got a big red emergency stop button if you need to just completely stop the train, just smack that. I feel like more cabs just need the big button. And I believe I haven't turned the wipers on, so let's at least get my XP for doing that. Give it a good old single wipe. Cab temperature as well, we can put it with that. I don't actually know what the conversion rate between Celsius and Fahrenheit is, so I'm guessing 75, 65. We'll go for a nice cool 67. That sounds pretty decent to me. We've still got a little bit of time left before, speeding a little bit actually. Let's apply a small amount of minimum brake. We've still got 26 miles before our route. We're expected there in the next 16 or so minutes, as long as we're on time. But I think we might arrive there a touch early if we've been speeding a little bit. So, oh, it looks like we can speed back up. So let's get the throttle going. And I'm going to be using the hotkeys from this point forward, just using the A and D keys to move the throttle without having to actually manually press it. I haven't actually run this route in full, but I'm curious to see if it stays urban throughout the entire length. I think it would do. Obviously I know when I did my trial run of the Méditerranée, it started off urban, a mix between urban and the natural landscape, and then completely transformed into a full scenic route. And I know the same thing with Cajon Pass. That's more just desert, and it's more about the scenery and the rocks. This is really right through the middle of, and we're speeding again. I need to make sure I pay attention to. I'm just enjoying the scenery, alright? I'm not focusing on the big lines. Okay, we're gonna slow down. This is difficult. We've got to make sure we're constantly changing our speed here. Okay, that should be good for now. Let's lower our throttle back to the release position just so our wheels aren't slipping, and we're passing over a river here. Absolutely lovely. passing over a road again as well. Let's keep an eye on the speed. What have we got? We've got 125 miles per hour coming up. I believe, is that just kicked into effect? Are we allowed to go? Are we allowed to speed? I want to make sure we're not going to creep past. There we go. We're allowed to go full speed ahead now. This is what we want to do. We're in a high-speed US train. We want to put maximum effort on the throttle and absolutely race it down the track. So let's climb some speed. We're on a slight incline, so it's going to take a little bit of extra effort. But we're slowly building up our way. And I can't believe, actually, just thinking about it, there's houses and buildings just on the left and right side of the track at the moment. This train will be doing 125 miles an hour past these buildings. And oh, look at this! We've got another one coming just past us. Another Acela. Look at that. Passing each other at about 100 miles an hour each. Absolutely fantastic, but I would think for the people living on the side of the tracks there, that's going to make for a certain specific noise. I can't believe we're passing just passengers at 100 miles an hour. I wonder if I should have slowed. I guess not. I feel like that's they'd be relatively safe, but the NPCs, they did look at almost teetering on the edge of that platform there. How are we? We're still climbing. We're not quite at the speed limit yet. But another. We're gonna have to keep it. I'm gonna turn off the effort now because in about 6,000 or so feet, we're gonna have to slow down to about 110 miles an hour. So if I just if I sort of coast, perhaps maybe with the slight incline, we might even manually slow ourselves down to 110 just in time for the speed changeover. What an absolutely amazing loco. And again, this environment of the Boston Sprinter map is lovely. We have transitioned a little bit more into a natural area. There's still a bit of urbanism, still a few buildings around, residential housing, but for the most part we've entered more of a forest area. There's a lot more trees, but we've got 150 miles coming up in 2,050 feet, 2,500 feet. So let's make sure our throttle doesn't dip too low, and we're going to get ready to send it all the way up and try and get some more speed. I hope you're all having an absolutely lovely Friday evening. Again, this stream is pre-recorded footage. I'm recording this on the morning of Friday, so at least for me it is still a Friday. And there we go, we're at 150 mile an hour limit. Let's full speed ahead. We've got a nice big straight in front of us, so let's absolutely send it. Try and gain some speed. But yes, I hope you're having a lovely Friday. Again, if you're joining us now, we've got some Spirit of Steam content coming up next, and afterwards I'll be joining us back again for the Méditerranée on the LGB, on the TGB, the Duplex. So I hope you're looking forward to that. And if you are curious, again, the Steam March Madness sales are now on. So be sure to check them out. There's some fantastic stuff on offer. This route is on 45% off, and the Acela is on offer for the first time ever. So you can get this fantastic loco that does amazing speeds at 25% off, which is a pretty good deal. I definitely love changing up the camera positions as well, just checking out and kind of being pulled along with the train as it rides along the track. 20 miles until our next our stop later. We've got about another 10 minutes to go. One thing I have found with the Acela is that with the automatic brake, it slows you down in decent speed, but you do want to make sure you're prepared. So I'm hoping when we get closer to our stopping location that there is a slow decline in the speed gradients, just so we have plenty of time to slow down. And I'm looking at our speed at the moment. We are just hitting 150 miles an hour now. So let's set that to coast. We're going slightly downhill, and let's try and hover at exactly 150 miles an hour if we can. We're on a perfectly flat plane through the forests now. We are truly into the scenery, embracing the nature, and we've got like a little bank to our left and to our right. Look at this absolutely wonderful view. Let's turn up the throttle a bit. Again, I'm just using the hotkeys. I do like to manually come into the cab and move the switch, though. I do think there is a lot of joy to be had with a more manual use. I love seeing the different striking colours between certain locomotives. You get the IC3 with the big red stripe. You've got the Acela with the blue colouring on it. The TGV Duplex with the kind of pinky purpley colouring to it, which is lovely. They've got this unique colours that not only complement their shapes, which is just fantastic. 16 miles to go. We got a green light up ahead. Should be all fine. And we're still allowed to be cruising at 150 miles an hour, and we're just going right past these houses. Again, that must be such a shaking noise. I know, I know people I've spoken to that live near the tracks of the Acela just outside. They can definitely hear it roaring past them. So it must be an experience. But I guess if you are a fan of this train, being able to see it every day, that must be quite something. And I hope our passengers in first class are doing okay. We can't actually walk through to first class from the front of the cabs. We can't go say hello to them while we're riding, but I think we should be doing our duties as a train driver here and staying firmly in the seat. Okay, so in about 2 miles, we are going to have to drop down to 130 miles an hour, which is all fine. I'm going to pull down the throttle then and see if we can't coast our way to that kind of speed without having to apply the brake. But if you are in a chat on a Friday, again, the stream is pre-recorded, but if you want to all post the favourite things you have about the Acela, things that you're looking forward to getting in the sale, be sure to put it in the chat. Show your excitement for the sales, and yeah, I'd like to know, because I'll be watching along with when this goes live anyway. I just won't be able to directly engage through my voice now, but I'd like to know what it is that you've had on your wish list for a while, what you're excited about picking up. And we've just switched into the 130. We're speeding a touch, but I think we'll slowly come down as we're still coasting. I'm not too worried about that. I think the train authorities, they won't catch me for 3 miles over the limit. I believe when it comes to driving, we're allowed plus 10%. That must still apply here. 11 miles out. We want to keep coasting a little bit because we've got a 125 mile an hour limit. And we should just about perfectly hit that as we come into the new speed zone. Absolutely fantastic. And we're on more of a raised bit of earth here. Again, it's seeing the difference in the scenery, the difference in the environment, knowing it's from satellite scan data. It's just absolutely fantastic. Gosh, there's a big bump in the road there. Any car users using that must get a bit of a thrill for doing that at 60 miles an hour, but we are about double that at about 125. Now we're about 6 or so minutes, 7 minutes away from our stop. I believe we're on time. I'm just making sure that we still got 6 miles to go, or 8 miles to go, I believe, but I want to make sure that we have enough time to slow down. Making sure that we're not blasting through the stop location. We cross a red light. That would be the worst case scenario. Okay, we want to turn down our throttle just a little bit as we're beginning to overtake. We can even shut the blind. We're driving blind. Probably not the best safety standards, but we'll close this window. Our passenger, our fellow second man doesn't need to use that. There's no one there. And we're actually tilting at the moment, so if you can see that there's a slight tilt going on with the cabs. So the cab of the Acela doesn't even tilt. It's more the coaches that tilt, and that's intentional. It's something I learned in the tutorial actually. But I find out that again, that's very interesting, the way it's been designed, because it makes it more comfortable for the people in the coaches to tilt, because then it's less noticeable. As you can see, we can actually see the blind I've pulled down. very interesting. Okay, so we're still speeding a little bit. We're under 32. I think, are we coasting? I might just apply a tiny bit of minimal brake just to bring that down, because I don't think we're going to be able to coast our way below that. And again, we've got a 125-mile-an-hour limit coming up. Because we're on a downhill, I might start thinking about applying a tiny bit of minimum brake, just because we won't automatically be able to coast our way to that kind of speed. So that about does it. We still got about 2,000 feet, but I'm just doing it in advance, making sure we're prepared. And that seems to have done it. We're sat at 125, 500 feet to go, and into the new speed limit at a perfect pace. This is me trying to get the best gold medals we can. And look at that, I'm already speeding again. Is that going to come down? I'm looking at the bar now. I think that's going to sit steady where it is. So I'm just going to... Oh, we're gonna be rising up to 130 miles an hour shortly. We've got 3 miles to go until the end destination though. We're already increasing our speed. So I think I'm going to sit quite comfortably at 126 miles an hour. I don't know what the stopping distances should really be. This is my second time driving the Acela. The first time was in a couple tutorial runs. I just know that we want to make sure we're prepared in advance. I think 3 miles is still quite, is definitely too far in advance, but just making sure that we've definitely got enough time. This isn't, I'm hoping to make this a perfect stop. We want to get our 500 bonus points. 2 miles until the station, okay. I'm expecting after this green light we pass in 700 feet that there's going to be a decrease in the speed limit. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, not quite yet. We've still got 5,004 feet, okay. I'm a little worried now. We're 8,000 feet away. I'm going to start applying a small amount of brake. I believe this might be down to me stopping location. So I'm going to try and get us down to about 100 miles an hour. 6,000 feet away. I could just be doing this prematurely, but because I'm unsure about how fast I can slow the train down, I just want to make sure we don't overshoot. So again, I'm just going to apply about 37% brake, get to 100 miles an hour, and then we'll call it. We'll see how it goes from there if we change off. So we're about 98 miles an hour. We're passing a different train. We're not passing an Acela. We're passing the NJT. Okay, we're 2,000 feet away. I'm going to start applying more of a brake. 1,700 feet. We might be coming in this too fast. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, full service, full service. Oh, it's going to have to be an emergency brake. Oh, I'm going to hit the red button. Stop the train. 500 feet. Oh, I've done. Oh no. Okay, thankfully there isn't a red light. Okay. Nobody. I knew. I was aware of the issue. Oh, this isn't looking too good. This isn't looking that good at all. We might have overshot that by 1,300 feet, possibly looking like 1,500 feet. I was hoping for more help from the speed limits there, but and it looks like at a whopping 1,900 feet, the train has come to a stop past the location. Is that going to count? Can the passengers walk over? Do we think? How far is that for them to walk? Like, you can see the station. They could probably just take a little bit of that. 1,800 feet's not. I think we might have to reverse the train. Okay, let's set the train into reverse. I've not done this before, but I believe. How hard could it be? Okay, it looks like we are back. So I did some research. I figured out how to stop the brakes being applied. We re-raised the pantograph, and would you look at that, we're already beginning to reverse. There is hope. The passengers that are, if you're looking at the time in the top left corner, don't worry about it. That extra 7 minutes delay, it's not a big deal. They were told that this service was going to be late. So we're going to just roll it back 1,700 or so feet. It's only a minor overshoot. I think it's overshot so much that my points may still even be waiting for me. As the game didn't even recognize me stopping at the platform. So we can still get the 500 bonus action points. I think that's the important bit. If we just keep it to 20 miles an hour. Again, we want to make sure we roll in just nicely. And then for all of you watching, This isn't typical Acela gameplay, but then what can you come to expect when you see me streaming Train Sim World? It's always something new. So we're gonna roll back another 500 feet. I'm gonna start applying a tiny amount of brake. Again, I want to make sure that we've got this in the bag. A tiny bit more amount of the braking. 300 feet, maybe a little less of the braking. 200 feet. I'm gonna cut off the brakes, and hopefully we'll just roll. 7 miles an hour. Would you look at that? This is almost gonna be perfect. Just a little bit of braking. 40 feet. Ooh, a good amount of braking. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 4 feet. Within 4 feet, objective complete, 500 points. Would you look at that? The passengers, they wouldn't even know we were late. So we're going to use the U key there to unlock the right doors. And there's not even a problem. They didn't see anything. They're boarding, like there's no issues at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the brakes applied, but we're going to switch the reverser back to forwards as it always has been, always should have been. I knew I had to slow down. I just didn't realize. Obviously, this is my first run properly, and first time I've had to really push the brakes there. I knew I needed to slow down sooner, but I wasn't sure when. But you learn. You learn these things through practice, through doing it. How are the passengers doing? They're getting on slowly. I think our driver might need to get out and stretch their legs. They went through a pretty rough stop there. I think 1,800 feet. I mean, they could have just walked down the stairs. They could have walked over to where we were, but we wanted to give them a nice luxury of being able to board at the platform. So we're going to finish loading passengers. We shouldn't have too long left to go in the route. Maybe another 10 minutes or so. First class, how's everyone doing? I can't open the door this way. Yeah, apologies for the delay in the service. We overshot the station by almost 2,000 feet, but that's none of your concern. We're going to get back into the cab. We're going to keep driving. Let's close the outer door. Let's close our inner door. Get back in the seat. And here we go. We're going to use the... oh, we just opened the left-hand doors. We don't want to do that. We're going to lock both doors with the hotkey. And we're going to make sure that we're ready to go. So we're in forward. If I release the brake now... throttle should be off. And we should be ready to go. Okay, I just realized for the next 5 minutes, if you're wondering, there's another jump in time. I didn't know why the train was moving. Turns out the left doors were open. It's okay. Hotkeys are hotkeys. We're moving. We're on our way. It's not been a chaotic experience so far at all. The passengers at this platform are just extremely confused as to why this is happening, but it's okay. The train is moving. We've got 10 miles to go. We're on our way. Not an issue there. Just a slight delay. The doors were open, but we're on our way now. So we're getting a bit of we're getting a bit of sliding happening here. So I want to make sure the throttle's not turned up too much. And it's finally time to activate our wipers. So we've been sat at that station long enough that well, that the very clouds have turned, the very environment has changed. So we're gonna put on our wipers, even for the blind. You know what, I'm gonna open the blind for this window just in case we need to look out of it. Oh, we're passing a lovely looking train. Let's take a look. Look at this, purple stripe all the way down. Absolutely fantastic. A shame we couldn't see that in a brighter environment. 60 miles an hour. Let's start speeding up a little bit more. So we've still got the green light, got 120 miles an hour limit. Now, we know when it comes to stopping at Boston Bay that we are going to have to slow it down much more in advance. Now, I'm beginning to think, so we started slowing down, I think at about 5,000 feet. And we ended up about 2,000 feet overboard, which was using an emergency brake. So if we start slowing down at maybe 10,000 or so feet, and really bring it down to about 60 miles an hour at the 2 mile mark, then we can't go wrong. and the weather has really taken a turn for the worse. But it gets us a chance to see the Acela in a different light, in a different environment. Again, if you are interested and you are enjoying the stream, the Acela Express and all the new US content to Train Sim World is 25% off in our Steam March Madness sales. So feel free to check it out and check out all the other discounts we have on as well. The Boston Sprinter route we're on currently is also 45% off, as well as just the core game. Train Sim World 3 is 40% off, and there's even starter editions to get you into it for cheaper. So check out the store pages, there's some fantastic deals going on, and yeah, we're heading into Boston, 7 miles to go. Let's make sure we're not speeding too much. And this time we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna park this correctly. We've got enough time. We're only mildly delayed. It's only a mild delay. So there's no worries at all. The passengers, they've been informed that there's a new driver on today, so they expect, they've been compensated on their delay pay. So it's all good from them. So we are 6 miles away, 120 miles an hour. And yeah, the clouds are really, the fog has really kicked up. Our headlights are getting some full use, and it's really quite a nice route so far. Again, very urban, very scenic, but more residential than some of the other recent releases. I'm just looking inside of the cab. And we're seeing the pantograph actually raising and lowering itself there to fit the wire. It's really interesting. We've got a little bit of a spark there as well. Absolutely fantastic. So 5 miles. Okay, I want to prepare. I don't know how many feet 5 miles is, but I'm going to begin to slow down. Maybe at about the 3 mile mark. I want to take it to about 100 miles an hour, so I'm going to actually just apply a minimal brake. Just bring that speed down. I don't want to overshoot the platform. I feel like Boston Bay might have more of a red light, so I was able to overshoot the previous platform more simply because there was nothing in the way. But oh, we got to see that fantastic loco again that we saw earlier. Here it comes up, just on the left. Like, got the purple stripe all the way down. Is that a rail toll service? I'm not too sure. But okay, we're at 90 miles an hour, so we're probably slowing down a little bit too much. This is a high-speed train after all, so let's I looked too far down. Let's turn off our throttle there, so we've got no brake slide. Yeah, 89 miles an hour. I'm a bit more comfortable coming into this station in 3 miles. Again, we're erring more on the side of caution because our last stop was a touch overboard, just a small stone throw further than it should have been. So we're going to just make sure we come into Boston at a good pace here. 2.6 miles, okay. Oh, well, we're slowing down to 60 miles an hour in about 2 miles anyway, so what I'm going to do in advance is just apply that minimal brake. And that should slowly bring our speed down about 1 mile an hour every second. And it just gives us time to reach that 60 mile an hour at a gentle pace. I can't wait to see the speed graph at the end of this run. So we're underneath the tunnels here. And we're getting a little bit of tilt as well. We've got a yellow light coming up, so we've got to be prepared in case we do need to stop. So I'm going to release the brakes there. We're about 63 miles an hour. Turn the throttle off and get it ready. So, we are very prepared coming into Boston here, I believe. We've got 8,000 feet. We're only traveling 60 miles an hour. I'm much more confident about stopping in time. Let's make sure that we definitely are under 60 for this 60 mile an hour limit that's coming up. We've got a yellow light. Is there going to be a red one following it? Another yellow light, so that's all okay. Let's just release that brake there. Again, we're just making sure our throttle and our brake are all doing fine. 6,000 feet to the stop. I'm feeling much more confident. Passengers have got their umbrellas out because of the rain. Look at all the different colours. We're all getting them out. Everyone happened to bring an umbrella today. Okay, so the speed limit's 120, but obviously we're not going to send it. We've only got 5,000 feet to go. Now I'm just gonna apply that minimum brake. I want to come in at about 30 miles an hour, maybe at about 2,000 feet. Even that seems quite fast. So as we approach this tunnel here, I believe a lot of this section might now be underground, coming into Boston. So 3,000 feet, 48 miles an hour. We're slowly stopping. I'm feeling good about this. I think we may as well stay in a cab view as we're in a tunnel. 2,500 feet. This is a big experiment to see if I can do this. It's a big test. 2,000 feet. I think we might be slowing down a touch too much. So if I just release the brake there, take off the throttle, 30 miles an hour. Now that's a comfortable speed to be traveling at. Again, we could be doing 60, but when we've only got 1,500 feet to go, I want to make sure that we don't overshoot. Here we go, 1,000 feet to go. So again, I'm just gonna add that minimum brake back on. And as we turn the corner, our final test approaches. 900 feet. There's the color bars. There's the score. 24 miles an hour. 23. It's looking good. The purple stripe of victory as we come around the corner. 19 miles an hour. 500 feet to go. This has been the Acela Express on Boston Sprinter. They're both on offer. The March Madness sales are on. 400 feet, 10 miles an hour. I'm going to quickly turn off the minimum brake and just hit that to release. 9 miles an hour. And we're just going to glide our way to victory. 200 feet. Here we go. 500 bonus action points. I can see it. I can taste it. It's just there. 100 feet to go. This is it. The moment of truth. Let's apply the brake. 50%. That's looking good. That's looking good enough. 497 action points. We take that. That's a good solid finish. And let's open the doors. Which side do they need to get out? Is it the right hand side? It is the right, so we use our U hotkey. We'll keep the wipers on, the brakes applied. Let's even put the parking brake on for good measure. And that will be it. 12 minutes late. You love to see it. The passengers, despite taking the high speed option today, they certainly weren't arriving with enough time. But that's it. That's been Boston Sprinter. I'm excited to see this graph after all of our passengers has disembarked. But as I mentioned, Boston Sprinter, this route is 45% off in our March Madness sale. And it's worth checking out all the discounts available across our latest US content. Obviously the Acela has been released in the last month and it's now on sale already. As well as New York Trenton, which you can also run the Acela on, and the UP Heritage Packs, which are all 25% off, and you can even complete your collection. So if you own the Acela, you can get New York Trenton and the Heritage Packs in the bundles at a discount, which is very good. It's a new thing we've added. So be sure to check that out if you are interested in the content. But if you've been interested in this journey so far and the trouble we had at one of the stops, well then hang on just for a few more moments while we wait for the passengers to finish loading, and we can check out the end of game graphs. Let's close the door, get back in our seat. I'm excited. Come on, passengers, finish loading. Lock the doors. Unless we have another stop. Perhaps we do have another stop. Oh, no, that is it. Oh no, go via East Coast. No, we still have another stop. Well then, never mind. The party will continue. Because we gotta get to this. We gotta get to this graph. Let's release the parking brake, and we're back at it. So we're gonna go by East Limits Cove interlocking. Let's open the map. Where are we now? Providence, both Bay, and then we're gonna go into the East Limits Cove. I did think that we would be stopping there, but We've got a little bit more to go. On this rainy Boston day, still quite underground, very urban at the moment. We've got all the roads above us, the buildings to our side. We've got a little spark on the pantograph there. The view from the cab is quite interesting because obviously you've got all the entrance around you, but the window itself isn't terribly big. It's quite restrictive. It's quite a thin view you get. Comparing it to the ICE, comparing it to the Javelin as well. So we're gonna slow down our speed actually because we've got a 15-mile-an-hour limit coming up at about 900 feet. So let's just slow down to about 50 miles an hour. Don't want to be doing any speeding. And yeah, as you can see, you've got the roads. We've got a highway to our left, a double highway to our left. We've got a high road just to our right. We're currently crossing underneath about 4 or 5 bridges. Now this is certainly a cluster. If you were driving across these roads, your Google Maps would just be lines. You got all these railroads underneath these motorways above us. Now we're slowing down a little bit too much. We want to apply a bit more to the miles per hour. And again, we got that train there that looks like it's from Cajon Pass. Why have we stopped? Was that on me? I don't believe I used any specific hotkeys on why we would be braking. Is there any reason why we have fully stopped? Have we hit an emergency brake by accident? Pantograph is still up. We've still got power, is that correct? Oh, and there we go. We are... I'm not quite sure why our brakes weren't allowing us to move there. They are in release. I will be interested to see if you can comment why is it we were forced to stop there. I'd be very curious. Again, this is pre-recorded for the stream itself, but I will be watching back and looking at the chat as we go. So unfortunately you won't be able to get any acknowledgement of that from me currently, but if anyone knows why we the wheels decided to brake on us there, I'd be very curious. But obviously, I mean, as I'm driving these locos, I'm not very knowledgeable in everything, as I'm still learning the game myself. About an intermediary player, so a little bit of help every now and then is very appreciated. So 2,000 feet until we are stopping in Boston South Station. Of course, that was the station that was listed on the PIS at the beginning. So this is definitely the end, 1,800 feet. But we really are crawling into this. We're even speeding at 11 miles an hour. And we've got massive factory buildings, we've got a river just over the side. We've got the whole city of Boston just looming above us there. If it wasn't raining so much, it wouldn't be such a gloomy view. But with the fog and with the clouds, it really makes it quite mysterious. Okay, 1,200 feet until we are at our final destination for real this time. We're pulling in, driving over the speed limit only slightly. 10 miles an hour. I'm not worried about being able to stop in time because we are practically crawling to this platform. 900 feet. And this should be an easy 400 plus pointer to stop right on the end. As we come into Boston South. .600 feet to go. And what a journey this has been. I have certainly enjoyed using the Acela. I think it's a fantastic locomotive. And if you think you can do better than me at stopping, then I challenge you to check out the store page if you don't already own it, and I challenge you to see if you can. Okay, 300 feet. I'm gonna start applying a minimum brake, maybe at about 200, maybe about 150. And we'll put the minimum brake on. That should get us to a lovely crawl. And that seems about right. We're just about tipping into that last box. Not quite perfect, but still 495, we take those. And finally we can press the U hotkey, open the right doors, let our passengers off. They're probably very upset that we are delayed. We'll put the parking brake on. Are the doors open? Unload the passengers. Oh, have I got it wrong? Is that on the right side? Yeah, there we go. Yes. And that should be the run. I'm looking forward to this graph. This has been an interesting journey. If you've watched along, and if you haven't, well, you're gonna love this. So we should be expecting the final score. I wonder what kind of medal this is. I'm hoping for at least a bronze. I feel like I did my stops on time. Bronze medal would be very appreciated. I don't think the passengers would hand me out medal, but we will see. It's definitely raining quite heavily. Let's turn the wipers up to a nice high. Oh, that's too much. And we're gonna lock the doors. Brilliant. The right doors are locked. That should be the end of the run because there's nowhere left for us to go. That's the end of the line. 100 feet in front of us. And there it is. A silver medal. You know what? That's pretty good. You can see initially at the start we kept forgetting that we were speeding too much, and then you can see this interesting looking section here. I wonder what happened there. Or if you're curious what happened, you can always watch back the streams, and we will also be live on Saturday and Sunday with the same content, just showcasing the routes that are on sale. And that will wrap up the Acela Express gameplay section for tonight. Coming up next is Jamie, who will be streaming Spirit of Steam, which is 50% off in our March Madness Steam sale. So be sure to check out the discounts, and I'll be handing you over to Jamie.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this March Madness video. So yes, I thought we'd take a run on Spirit of Steam. It's beautiful LMS AF, and we thought we'd do an express freight. So, let's get in. Let's try and get out of Edge Hill. Quite steep graded. Open the injectors. Firing away. Brakes them off. And we're off. Again. we're getting there. Hey, we're going. There we go. Got a good mixed freight. Also, you notice I've turned off the large ejector so we can keep our steam pressure up. It's a small ejector will keep the brakes off for us. Climbing up the heavy grade. Mixed freight. Now we've got a downhill gradient here, so we've got to keep an eye on our speed. But I do want to take a run up, because if we don't get a run up, we might not make it to the top. I'll shut off a little bit here. The wagons will then push us a bit. Not too worried if we go a couple of miles an hour over. And as soon as we hit the gradient, which is about here, I think, pretty much. That's there, right. Give her everything. Shut off again. So the train will now push us down. We've got a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up as we go over the points. So we'll open the ejector. Until our cleared, back of our train's cleared section, over the points. There we go. We're going to rocket up the bank. Rocket up the bank, we've got a bank. We're going to rocket up. Not too fast because we've got freight as well. Bring the reverser back a bit. Steam pressure. moving along quite nicely now. Yeah, and don't forget as well, so Spirit of Steam is on sale at the moment in the March Madness sale, and it's on 50%. Make sure you go and pick this up. Go too much faster than that, bring the regulator down. Now. Go through to the next station. We can do a run past the station, which is West Allerton. We're going to pass a Jubilee in a second. There's a Jubilee. Allerton station there. If you're wondering why I open the regulator and slam it down, there's a lot of drivers you see on the British Railways in the steam days. Sometimes regulators would actually get stuck, so you wouldn't have it was an easier way to slam the regulator shut, to actually make sure it does shut. So it's just a little thing I bring into the game. Rolling along nicely now. A little bit of a gradient, so I'm just going to put some power down. nice run past. Go. We've got our distance, we're okay. Bring the speed down a little bit as we're going down the gradient. Side sidings. Nose in the field. We're doing okay. Back our train to our brake van. Sure I've got a tail lamp on. Turn that on. There we go. There we go. I should check that, to be honest. Through Ditton Junction. Storming through Ditton Junction. Love the signal box. So I mean, to be honest, all the signal boxes are great along the line. I love them all because they're all so unique as well. They're in different designs. Go up the gradient we go. What I'll do is I'll roll the train because I think the gradient will slow us down for us. Some power down there. viaduct, or the first part of the viaduct. Over the next part. I think we'll probably be better the other side actually, because we'll see the loco the other side a bit better. Yeah. There we go. Vintage bus going around there, there you go. Canal down there. So we've now got a gradient on, so I'm now going to put some more power down. Keep the power on. Get stuck on the gradient if I can. Try my best. Pressure's pretty low, to be honest. Lower than I'd like it to be. Yeah, that is very low. I've got a heavy load, but we'll get there. It's fine. As long as we're moving, that's the main thing. So the pressure is still rising. That's bit better. Getting there. Come on, pressure. Come on, fireman. You should be shoveling it. Come on. As you can see, that bridge can catch you out. But there you go. Just waiting for our pressure to keep coming up. Come on. There we go, I think we've got a rhythm now. We'll keep it there for a bit. Hopefully our pressure won't be affected too much. We're looking at 180. Bring it down a little bit more. Push that pressure any higher. Near the top of the gradient. Gradient's just thinned out a little bit. We'll just get that pressure up a bit more. On the bridge. So I think the end of the gradient's just at the top here. There you go. You can see the top of it. Good thing is I'm not too worried about the pressure now, because what we can do is roll over the top and the pressure hopefully should start building. That's an exit one. There we go, there's the gradient drop. So hopefully the wagons will now start pushing us. We'll start increasing speed. Open the roof vent, because I think the firemen will probably be a bit worn out after that. Doing building some speed up now. Weaver. Doing well. Doing good speed now. That's a bit better. Go over to the footbridge here. Better. And over the top. We've got the all clear. Wang's now pushing us, so we can now just leave the loco rolling. Actually speeding. Over the viaduct. Clear. pressure, even though we're going on a gradient. Hello, here comes the Jubilee. Forward so we can keep an eye on the pressure there. Do 180. Bridge. On the flat now, so should be able to open her up a little bit. There we go. Now the pressure's changed. Now hopefully now we can start getting some speed back on again. Now on the flat. It's all about keeping your pressures and working out what your reverser and regulator settings should be to try and get your pressure stay as good as possible. Getting on well. Got the all clear. responding well. Through Hartford. Gaining speed now. What we'll do is we'll stop at the next station, I think. Finish the video there. Slowly bringing it down now. The next station is not far away now. Yeah, I don't think it's that far. Speed down. see the edges of the platforms just there. There's the edges of the platforms, that's where we're going to aim for. We'll stop at the platform here and then finish the video there. Oh, we can hear the cows. Make sure we can get off the platform. So there we go. There's a quick run on Spirit of Steam with this lovely AF. So as I said before, don't forget Spirit of Steam has 50% off on March Madness, so go and pick it up. It's a great route, and if you love your Steam locos, it's a great route to play Steam locos, Steam trains. So there we go, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, Jamie. You've been a fantastic host, and you're stuck with me again because we are going to be driving across the LGV Méditerranée, which is 80% off in the March Madness sales. Now, I don't have to say this too many times, but check out the Steam store page. There is a fantastic range of offers available right now, and if there's anything that you've had your eye on for a while, definitely have a look. So here we are in the main menu. I've got a route in mind that I want to play. It's a nice, lovely 9 AM run on the TGV Duplex. I believe it is the 6112 Paris-Gare de Lyon. Let's jump right into it. I'm excited. I've done my training for the route. I must say that the TGV is a magnificent looking locomotive. It's definitely intimidating, but I think we're going to be okay handling it. So here we are. Just look at this loco. 80% off if you are interested. But aside from marketing, this thing just looks absolutely fantastic. I love the color of pink and that kind of orangey pink stripes that follows the body of the train down. Okay, let's open the doors. I'm beginning to learn hotkeys, so we're going to use the Y hotkey to open the door. Then we're going to get beeped at a lot by the train. And as we slowly begin loading passengers, we need to do our setup here. So, if I remember correctly, circuit breaker on. That should be one of the first rules, because I think we've already got power to the loco. We need to get the pantographs. Up. So they're in lowered already. Switch it to DC, pantograph normal, and then rearm circuit breaker. Hopefully, let's try that on and off again. Okay, that should be what we need to do. The doors, we're still loading passengers currently. Now, let's do our brake tests. We don't need to hit the service retention button because we're already in control. So let's do our brake test. So we're going to put brake on hold. I'm just remembering what I can from the tutorial here. So we are going to switch the neutral on, hit the emergency brake, neutral off, unpress the brake, and that should be all we need to test. But before we do that, actually, we'll put the brake hold back on because we need to take our brake pipe gauge. We need to push that all the way up to 5 and 4.9. 5 should just about tip to 5 if we keep holding it. There we go, perfect. And then we need to apply it a little bit to go back down to 4. So the brakes are all working, everything is safe. Let's get it back up to 5. Let's close the doors and let's take off our brake hold. And I will hit our switch once, twice more just for good luck. Okay. We've done the doors, we haven't set the reverser. If you're wondering if I have all of this written down, I do. I followed the tutorial and I'm ready to go. So manual control, and I think that puts us in perfect position to get going. Apply a little bit of power, and there we are, we're off. I am surprised I remembered all that, but there we are. Now the interesting thing about this route, the Méditerranée, is that we'll actually have to change power a couple times. So this is something that's quite easy to do as long as you know the steps to follow. And we'll do it using the pantograph selector and the pantograph mode here. So essentially we just switch between AC, DC and LGV modes. And it should be okay. We should be alright. And we're launching off from the station here. Oh, we are speeding already. Off to a great start. Okay, let's apply a little bit of brake. We don't want to be speeding. Too busy showing off the train. There we go. And put it in coast at about 31 kilometers an hour. It's only a mile over the limit. Let's try and get that to 30. Let's see if we can just... There we go. Fantastic. And just look at this loco. You've got the moon in the background as well. We've got quite a long one. It's just snaking all the way back, just until just until the station ends. How long have we actually got? We've got about a 400-meter train with 20 carriages, so it's quite something. We should be allowed to go up to 60 kilometers an hour in a moment. 7 kilometers away from the power changeover location, and once we get there I will talk us through the steps, but for now actually everything's a bit dim. Let's get our side lights on. Side lights on. And desk light on. Perfect. Okay, let's speed up a bit because we can go up to 60. I've been playing Bremen and Niedertalbahn recently, and I must say that suddenly jumping back into the high-speed, extremely modernized locos is very intimidating when you go from having a tap changer and a nice steering wheel to control your speed to suddenly having all these fancy screens and dials. It's a big jump. I'm wondering if there's corridor cab light. Is that what we want? There we go. Finally, we can actually see what we're doing in the cab, and we're able to go up to 110 kilometers an hour. So we are on our way. Now, I believe there will be a tunnel that we are going through that climbs at about 2.5% upwards, if I remember correctly. Which is an interesting part, and the scenery is just quite fantastic. This is one of our only few French routes. Okay, we're approaching about 102, 103 kilometers an hour. Let's lower the power handle down to a nice, easy coast. I hope all of you have enjoyed watching the gameplay for today. Jamie was streaming earlier on Spirit of Steam, and I was streaming earlier on the Acela Express. Can increase our speed up to about 140 again. And you find that 4.4 kilometers, that comes up very quickly. And this is the back of the train now. Following on. Again, I just love the color of the stripe. It's just beautiful. Okay, let's make sure we're not speeding up too much. I find with the more modern cabs, I use the hotkeys a lot more, just because again, when it comes to all the switches and all the dials and all the handles you can press, I think manually doing it has less value. Oh, we are speeding quite a bit. I did not see the speed change. Let's actually apply a little bit of our brake there. Oh no, apparently the speed change is fine now. Okay, let's add our brake pressure back up and let's keep going. The area around here being very mountainous and residential, just lovely scenery. And in we go to a tunnel. Let's add a little bit of speed. I want to make sure we're going at least the speed limit. Almost 140 kilometers an hour. We'll just coast. We'll coast about 138. Okay, so as we approach the power changeover location, what we're going to do is we're going to lower the pantograph and change it to LGV. And then when we come into the power change location, we will be switching the circuit breakers off. We'll rearm the circuit breaker once we have re-raised the pantograph. And if we apply a little bit of speed now, I was panicking a little bit, but I think we're all good. There we go. If we apply a little bit of speed, you can see we are gaining speed once again. And we are now on the alternate power supply to the train, and it will allow us to go to much higher speeds. So for all of you that were wondering, we just unarm our circuit breaker, we change the pantograph selector and we lower the pantograph down, and then we switch our mode. And then we rearm, and we can re-add the we can re-raise the pantograph and then rearm. Simple really, but in the moment it can be stress-inducing. But we're okay. This is the tunnel I was talking about, 2.5% incline. We'll be gaining speed as we go up to Aix-en-Provence. It's about 7 kilometers away. So the speed limit here, if we look at this, the electronic speed, it's going to come down from about 200 to 180 to 160. So if we catch up to it at 200, then we'll want to be aware that it can jump down. So if we actually begin lowering our speed just a touch, just so we don't break the 200 limit. And as you can see there, it's already jumped down to 160. So a little bit of braking, and with the hill that we're on, 2.5%, that should hopefully bring us down to 160 quite quickly. A bit of a dark tunnel, so I can't show the outside of the train. And there we are, 160, just about kilometers an hour. We still want a little bit of power because that is a 2.5% gradient. And as we're only 3 kilometers away from the station, we want to start applying more brake, because we haven't got far to go. We've just come from a residential area on the hills to a completely forested zone. We've climbed all the way up the mountain just to come on a 2.8% decline. So we've really just gone all the way up just to come back down again. Okay, we gotta focus up a little bit. Two kilometers away from the station. We're still a little bit over 100 kilometers an hour. It wants us to go down to 80, so let's start actually applying some of the brake. We don't want to wheel slide here, but if we do a little bit of manual applying on the brake, that'll bring us down at a much faster rate. And there you go, we're already at 80 kilometers an hour. Well, let's try and keep up our speed just a little bit. We don't want to slow down too much. We got enough brake. There we go. The brake pipe was a little low. So you got to be aware of that as you apply the train brake. Your brake pipe pressure can drop quite quickly. $700 meters away. Okay, let's go for gold. Let's go for 500 points. So I'm going to begin slowing down properly so I don't have to use the more manual brake. Here we go. 50 miles an hour, 300 meters. I think we're lining it up pretty well. This looks like a winner. Maybe even a little too aggressive on the brakes. We've got about 200 meters, 20 miles an hour. I'm going to just coast for a little distance and crawl to that 500 point mark. Okay, 100 meters. Let's apply the brake again a bit more. I definitely envision curling when it comes to parking the trains. You want to get it perfectly on the dot. 12 kilometers an hour. Let's apply the brake a bit stronger. And dead on, really. Perfect. 500 points. Okay, let's open the door. So again, I'm going to use the Y hotkey to open the left-hand doors. And then the passengers have started being loaded on. Let's get out and have a little bit of a leg stretch on the platform. But I must say, this look with the double level seats in the cabs, the coaches, it's really fantastic. We can come take a look in the. We're definitely hitting our head on the ceiling, but look at this. We're upstairs. We're in the interior passenger. This is a lovely train. This might be my new favorite. Take a seat in the passenger seat. Oh, it looks like the train's rolling. I didn't put the brakes on. Oh no, we gotta quickly sort that. How are the passengers gonna board? It would seem my door has slipped away from me. Right. Interesting. Okay. Well, we need to get out the other side of the train. We're gonna do an illegal maneuver here. Just running alongside the track. There's nothing to worry about, passengers. Nothing to worry about at all. This is normal, standard procedure. And we want to make sure we apply our brakes to a proper stop, and the passengers can begin boarding again. Nothing to worry about at all. Let's perhaps stay in the driver's seat where we can keep an eye on that. So we've only rolled maybe 20 meters. Thankfully we didn't cross the red light. Passengers are still able to board. We're all okay. I can already feel the forms messages coming in. It's my second time driving after the training this morning, so you'll have to forgive my driving. But I must say, oh, I've left the door open on the side. I must say, this loco is definitely very impressive. So while the passengers load, I will just do another call out. Let's shut all the doors. Currently, it is the March Madness sale on Steam. The LGV Méditerranée, which we are streaming currently, and the TGV Duplex loco that we are looking at right now is 80% off. So if you are interested in this route, interested in this wonderful loco, then you can get it at a huge discount, as well as Train Sim World 3, as well as all of the other content in our library. The US content is also on offer. New York Trenton, the Acela, and the UP Heritage Pack in a Complete My Collection bundle as well. And I think with all the passengers in, let's lock the doors. And we'll convince them that there's no more train rolling to go. Okay, let's make sure everything's set up. Let's turn off our brake hold, brake power. Our brake gauge is up to 5.0, and we should be able to start moving. In the wrong direction. Is the reverser set? The reverse is on reverse. Apply the brake. We're going backwards. Look at that. We're already back into where we were on the platform. How did that get to being in reverse? I must have pressed that by accident. Okay, it's alright. There's a reason this is a simulator. If this was real life, I would have lost my job. I think I would have lost my job by the train just casually rolling a few meters before. But in terms of, as far as the NPCs go, we are on our way in the right direction. 67 kilometers to go. And we are on our way to Avignon. It looks like we can do some serious speed on this section of the track. So let's get our way up to speed. 170 seems to be the limit. And now the sky is the limit at 300 kilometers an hour. Let's see if we can get ourselves up to speed. We've even got a bit of tilt. A small amount of tilt happening on the tracks. We're really climbing up speed now. Almost 200 kilometers an hour. This is fantastic. $215, $220. I think as we're on a slight downhill gradient, it's also assisting us in gaining speed. Oh, it looks like we're going through a special section of the map. We've got rocks on the left and the right of us. 3.5% on the decline. This is insane. We're racing down the hill. This is easily the fastest I think I've driven yet. We've still got 63 kilometers to go, but something tells me that's going to go fast. That's going to come by really quickly. Looks like we've got downhill slopes. This is what all the mountain climbing was before on the route. We've got this huge downhill that we are absolutely racing down right now. Just look at the scenery. Look at the houses appearing on the right. We've got this massive viaduct. What a view. What a fantastic view. This is an amazing loco. This is one of my new favorite routes. We are actually just about speeding. I hadn't even noticed that. We're on 308 kilometers an hour, 302. And we are now climbing back up the mountain, so let's make sure we keep the power gauge maxed. And I'm really loving this route so far. Now for all of you that are in the chat and watching, this is pre-recorded because this is going out on, this will be Friday night that this will go out on, but we're going to be reusing this on Saturday and Sunday just to get some coverage and just to get some showcase of this fantastic route while it's on sale in the March Madness Steam sale. And we're speeding quite a bit now. I want to make sure we don't overdo it. Just going to apply a little bit of brake. We're on a 2.9% downhill. Just a little bit of brake will help control this. It looks like we're still gaining speed. I might actually apply a tiny amount of manual braking as well, just to bring that down to under 300 again. Then we'll build up that brake pressure back to 5.0. And we are all good. Look at this day. Look at the sun shining off the TGV. We can actually apply some of our forward power again now that we're under 300 kilometers an hour. There's something really magical about watching from the rear camera because it's basically pulling you along with the train. As opposed to the front camera here, this feels like more like a showcase shot. You're looking at the train in the environment, but when you're in the back camera, you're really being taken with it. It looks like we have... Oh, it looks like we're clear to go 320 kilometers an hour. That is insanely high, but we want to make sure we don't overdo it, so let's just coast. I'm going to coast down this gradient, and I think we're coming up to another hill, it looks like. There's definitely a lot of downhills and uphills, and trying to maintain your speed as you go across the route. Make sure you don't speed too much, make sure you don't slow down too much. Even in this tunnel alone we've got a bit of a curve. You can see that just as the tail end there is on the hill. It looks like we're coming up to another viaduct. 329 kilometers an hour. We need to make sure we're slowing down a little bit. Just look at this view. Very short tunnel. And again, we are just racing it down these hills. I'm trying to make sure I keep an eye on the speed here. What is it saying? 320. We're still climbing, so I wanna just apply some train breakage. And make sure that we're not overdoing it. And then refill the brake pipe pressure. A nice comfortable 300 kilometers an hour. We'll be there in no time. I do like watching from the cab as well. I think this is one of the most immersive experiences for me, just sitting in a cab and actually just watching from this camera angle too, because it really feels like you are in this train, you are driving it, you're getting the front view. Oh, it looks like we're on another slight tilt as well. Keeping an eye on the speed. I don't want to speed up much more than this. I can't believe we haven't hit the horn yet. Let me jump back into the cab and give it the high-low. Hit that from the outside as well. Couple mini viaducts there for over the road. It always does amaze me that this is the data we get for the routes is based on obviously satellite data itself. So it's fantastic to know that you get a lot of variety of just the viaducts here, the hills, compared to the start of the route, which is more residential, it's more flatter. We've even got another viaduct coming up that goes over what seems to be a small lake. You're really getting a whole range of scenery from just the environment, just the mountains, just the hills. You certainly don't see it for long because you're travelling at 322 kilometers an hour. Got another river coming up. Take a look at that from the back cab. So my concern now is that we are about 24 kilometers away from Avignon. And I want to make sure that we definitely have enough time to slow this down properly. So that's why I'm hoping this electronic gauge here should step us down. We're actually passing another TGV on the tracks there. But I want to make sure I'm focused because we're going to need to probably start slowing down soon. I mean, we're still 20 plus kilometers out, but when you're traveling at 320 kilometers an hour, suddenly that distance isn't so big. I'm beginning to see a lot more residential areas. This looks like a building site, some kind of chemical plant of sorts. Warehouses. Just little scenery elements that make you think. Okay, we got our first little warning here that's saying that we should probably drop it to 300. This is it. It's beginning. The slow decline as we approach Avignon at our final stop. So we're going to just apply the max power handle brake And just bring the train slowly to 300 kilometers an hour, and I'm willing to bet that we're slowly going to step down to about 280, 260 or so. So I'm just anticipating it to get slower. And I'm wrong, it's going back into 300. Well, looks like we have a little bit of time to speed back up. Perhaps there's an incline that we need to climb up. Look at this. We're going over a short bridge. Okay, so it's 270, so we're gonna apply that max power handle brake. That little speed up seemed to be just to get us over the hill, but now that we are 10 kilometers away from Avignon, we want to make sure that we aren't coming into that station at over 300 kilometers an hour. So let's apply a little bit of the train brake, help slow us down. Refill the brake pipe pressure. And just get us below 230. Now 200. We need to really start slowing down. Seven kilometers away. And 160. So we're not on the right speed curve that we want to be on. So we want to make sure that we're keeping up. So let's really slow down now. Oh, and as you can see, we're passing another TGV. And now we're going back to where we came from. Okay, 130, I'm not too worried about that. I feel like we're slowing down at a good pace. As we're in the last 4 kilometers or so of our journey. If you have enjoyed this journey and the streams earlier today, make sure to check out the March Madness sale that is on Steam now. This route is the LGV Méditerranée, and I'm on the TGV Duplex locomotive, and they come together and they are 80% off. So it's a fantastic deal. And we might be able to speed back up to about 170 in a moment here. Oh no, it's cooling us down to about 100. Let's keep this line down. There'll be no need to speed up, actually, as we only are 2.8 kilometers away from our end point. And as we're going downhill here, I want to make sure that we are slowing down on the right pace. We are reducing in speed a little bit, but maybe not quite as much as I'd like. I'm just keeping an eye on it. Again, I think the difficulties and the challenge of this route comes with how you manage your speed in a safe way. I'm going to set it to a coast as we've just dipped below 100. We're only 1 kilometer away now. So we probably want to start applying a small amount of brake power regardless. The final kilometer as we come out of the tunnel. And just at the tip of my camera there is Avignon. So let's make sure we get another perfect 500 points. I could see the final marker. We're going to make sure we land on this exactly where we want to. So we're going to apply the max slow now, and I think that might not be enough. I'm going to apply a little bit of brake power here. I don't want to overshoot. I'm going to up that back to 5. And we're just going to coast our way. I might have slowed us down a little bit too fast too soon, but it's okay. I'd rather be too slow than too fast. So if we add a little bit of power, we're just gonna go at a nice 20 or so kilometer an hour cruise. And what a journey! What a mountainous, hilly journey. I think at one point there we were on a 3.8% decline as we race down a hill. Okay, let's apply a little bit more brake. 16 kilometers an hour. We want to make sure we line this up perfectly. 9, 8, 7. And we're going to make sure we actually apply the braking hold this time so we don't run away with our passengers. And right on the tip of the train. Perfect. Oh, 499. I could have gone a little bit closer, but we're okay. We're going to put the brake hold on. We're going to unlock the doors with the Y key. And we're going to get out and hope the train doesn't roll. And here we are. What a journey that was. For only having done the training this morning, I'm pretty happy with that run. Of course, we definitely sped too much at certain parts, and it could have been better. But then, not a bad run. I'm really liking this loco. I love the double layering. I love the double stack coaches. Definitely one of the more interesting routes. We've got a little party of people here. Let me just join you there, and yeah, that will pretty much end our LGV route. Méditerranée. Take a look here. So yeah, we came from Marseille, we went to Aix-en-Provence, and we are now in Avignon station. Let's quickly run back to the train. Actually, I think I can just lock the doors from out here. I might need to be in a cab. Let's get back in. And the doors are locked. How did we do? Not too bad. A silver medal. I will take that. So that about wraps us up for tonight. We have just been playing the LGV Méditerranée 80% off on the Steam store. It's a fantastic offer, and there are plenty of others, including the core base game at 40% off. So go check out the sales, go see what you want to get at a great discount, and otherwise we will catch you in another live stream soon. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.